Hey there, it's Jim and Debbie, your best friends on the internet, and we are back by popular demand for another episode
Episode
of Midday Minute. This is number 88, Debbie, and
88.
I'm not going to say dozens of people were asking about us at convention, but at least ones of people, I would say.
At least half of a dozen.
At least half a dozen people at some point approached us and asked why it had been so long between our two most recent episodes. And it was nice hearing some feedback that people look forward to the show, that enjoyed our brand of news. And it inspired us to get back on the horse and get this next episode out quickly.
Look at us.
Of course, we were also inspired by the outpouring of support through our spotlight on service at the booth, which has become an annual thing where we collect socks for veterans experiencing homelessness in the Convention City area and books to promote children literacy. And we have a job to do today, which also inspired a speedy turnaround. We have to announce the winners of the Spotlight on Service drawing. And I spoiled a little bit by saying winners, more on that later. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to announce the 5 winners. But before we get there, Debbie, I was thinking that maybe we can share our top 3 highlights each from the convention in Austin.
All righty. Well, whenever you say I've been thinking, I get a little like my heart skips a beat because I don't know where you're coming from. But this one,
150 for 150. This is an easy one.
who knows? Who knows? I got this.
All right, why don't we start? We'll count them down. So we'll start with Debbie. What was your number 3? We'll take turns, alternate. What was your number 3 highlight from convention?
Number 3 highlight.
Ranking them.
It's a real selfish one, but that is the past Grand Exalted Ruler from Tennessee, Jack Frost, brought me and a couple others pimento cheese dip that he made and brought it to Austin because he knows that I am a pimento cheese connoisseur. And I have to say, some of the best I've ever had. Chef's kiss to Jack Frost, and he shared the recipe. So watch out.
Well, all right. If we had, this is of course, our convention highlights list. If we had a corresponding list of convention slights, that would be number 1 on my list because I didn't get any of this cheese.
Well, you've got to hang out with Jack Frost and you've got to be vocal about your love of pimento cheese dip.
No cheese for the big cheese.
All right. What was your third?
Well, let's kick it over. My number 3 is nothing selfish about my third choice. One of my favorite moments from the Austin convention was our donor event, which this year was Saturday night at the Speakeasy on Congress. It was a really cool event space. We tried to lean into we played around a little bit with the Speakeasy theme with our invitation, but really this was an Austin themed event. So we leaned into the barbecue and the live music. So we had a band performing, and it was just a nice low-key evening, a nice way for everybody to kick off the convention in a fun atmosphere.
As the live music capital of the world, I don't think you can get a bad duo or band at all in Austin. So they were great. I don't know what their names were. I don't remember, but they were fantastic. And I think everybody really enjoyed them.
I think calling them a band would be as big a stretch as me saying that we had dozens of people asking about them. There were 2 people. It was a duo. They were really good though. They're great.
They were really, really good.
A lot of fun. All right, Debbie, what's your number 2 highlight from convention?
Number 2 highlight is just, I'm going to cast the net really wide with this one. It is just seeing all of our dedicated and passionate volunteers and our Scholar Advisory Board and the Hoop Shoot Backboard, the Hoop Shoot Alumni Backboard. Like, I just love seeing them so much. I love just knowing that they're ambassadors for our programs. And then, of course, I just love seeing our volunteers who are, like I said, so passionate and dedicated to our programs, but then hearing people talk about just why they're part of the program that they're part of and how it fills them up and makes their lives better because of it.
That's a nice answer, Debbie. And I'm thinking about, this did not make my list, but perhaps an honorable mention was over the weekend in the exhibit hall, they had karaoke there to entertain the masses.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, a lot of those musical numbers did not do much to encourage visitors to remain in the exhibit hall. really cleared the room, you might say. But two of our scholars who were there, two of the Scholar Advisory Board members who are both trained vocalists, performed. As did
Yeah.
another one who wasn't a trained vocalist, and they all, and a member of the backboard also. They all did a great job, livened up the place. That was a lot of fun too. And that's an honorable mention. Did not make my number 2 event, which was my number 2 highlight from convention, which was opening ceremony, and in particular, our part of opening ceremony, which we like to call the show. This year really killed it. Bookended, of course, by our board chairman, Mike Smith, but then McKenna giving the hoop shoot portion, and you did the SIP and scholarships. And you both did a wonderful job. The videos were great. Honestly, I think you two were the highlight of opening ceremony, which is saying a lot because Randy Shook, the presiding grand, really did a nice job with his speech also. I really liked what he had to say about community investments program and how, as far as the community is concerned, the lodge is the Elks. They don't really know what the Elks are doing on a national basis or on the state basis. What they know is what your lodge is doing, and how our, SIP grant program really gives lodges the tools to put a positive face on the Elks.
Yeah, that really resonated with both of us. And, I'm an elk, you're an elk. We've been elks for a long time, and we've been doing this for a long time, but it was interesting to hear his take on it, having just like gone across the country, talked to so many people, heard about so many different projects and grants, that was like how he framed it. I love that.
It was really great. So that's my number 2. Debbie, this is it. We've been waiting for this moment. Our number 1s. We're going to start with you. What was your top highlight from the Austin convention?
Can I have a drum roll, please? Well, along the same lines, mine was the films that we showcased at opening ceremony. Of course, the El Paso.
In one of them, right? In the El Paso video.
Well, I went on the site visit, and
you were there.
Yeah. Megan Morris, who is our senior programs associate, did the heavy lifting with interviewing a lot of people, and even identifying the project in which we went to visit. But I did go along. I made sure that things were I was, there to make sure things were running smoothly. Not that they needed it, but the El Paso film featuring Tori Scott and Cheryl Kelly of the El Paso Lodge number 187, and just what they've been able to do with just such a simple kind of concept in terms of providing just essentials, toiletries for their community, and what an incredible difference they've made over these 6-7 years that we've been funding that project. Something along the lines of like $600,000 has gone back into the community with these basic essential supplies, and watching them watch it come to life. Like, they were nervous about it, and we just kept telling them, like, don't you worry, it's going to be fantastic. You're fantastic. The project's fantastic. And that film crew that we worked with in El Paso just really brought it to life. And I thought it was amazing. So that was super exciting. And then, of course, the leadership weekend film really, I think, captured the essence of what it was like to be with the top 20 here in Chicago in April. And of course, the hoop shoot, Getty Powell kids, they always bring the house down. So that was great too.
Well, I don't want to spoil yet my top choice, but I do want to say that I really enjoyed at work in the booth seeing the stars of our SIP videos the past few years. So I saw Heather Beal from the Bremerton video, which we did in 2022, I think. I saw is it Judy Hopkins?
Judy Hopkins, yeah,
from Greater Pine Island Lodge, last year's star. And then of course the 2 stars really from this year's El Paso video. It was just fun seeing them, like,
right.
I recognize you.
Yeah.
And I also, before I give my number 1, and since you mentioned the videos, like I gave you and McKenna the shout outs for opening ceremony. But one of the things I really like about it is it's a true collaborative effort for our team at the foundation. I'll mention our communications team, like Abby Knopp and I outlined the show beginning of May. Once we got past the hoop shoot, we sat down, we needed to get this thing done, and we kind of outlined it, right?
Yes.
And then she turned it over to Patrick Roloffs, who did the first draft, and then I kind of finished the draft, and um, and then the graphics, the presentation that was going on while our speakers were talking, that was all Abby, and it was great visuals. And then there was a really cool video it was really an animated slide that Claire Schnucker, our data viz associate, put together, that showed that plotted the rise in donations over a 14-year period, or 16-year, whatever it was. Then, Megan, you mentioned, she went down to El Paso and did the interviews for that video. And Abby's the one who found the film crew. So it's just a bunch of people contributing to that moment, to that 24 minutes on stage at opening ceremony, that I think where the foundation really shone, I think.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is a really important aspect. Maybe it's McKenna or me who get up to get the pleasure of getting up there to talk about it, but really, I mean,
a lot of people, a lot of
work with a lot of people,
and I'm sure there's others that I'm forgetting to mention, but all that said, that's just my number 2. Now my number 1. Gosh. Everybody's waiting for my number 1, and that is simply, where's my drum roll? Yeah, okay, drum roll. Debbie's making the drum roll. Work in the booth. Every day, I'm the first one there. And I'm usually one of the last ones to leave, because I like it. I really enjoy it. And it's long days for sure. And sometimes it can be pretty quiet in there, but when there's a lot of people there, it's fun helping out. It's fun talking to people. And it's especially fun getting to see these people that I've met over the years. I've been to every convention but one since 1992.
Since the dawn of time?
Yeah, since 1998, all of those have been working at the foundation booth. And I've just met a lot of people, and I see most of them once a year. And it's always a fun time reconnecting with them. There's, some I do business with every year. It's a donation, and we sit down, talk about that. Others, it's just catching up, what's going on. And it's just a lot of fun. As we've said before on the show, the convention used to be called the Elks Reunion, and with good reason, because it really is. You get to reunite with people that you see usually once a year. So
I completely agree. I might not share your love of getting there, being the first there, and
I can concur that you do not share my love of being the first on there, Debbie.
I have to say, I don't get to spend that much time. I was on the busiest day, which is Saturday, because we're doing the Hoop Shoot State Directors training. So I'm there, running around. Sundays, we've got so many things going on. So I don't really spend a lot of time at the booth until Monday, what it's basically you see literally the tumbleweeds from wherever in Texas they've rolled in, that. It's really, really quiet on Monday, and of course on Tuesday it's quiet. But why I say that is because I want to say one thing that I forgot about until you just said that, which is I just so happened to be at the booth on Saturday for a minute, probably getting something, and I was standing at the front at the desk, and somebody came in and was like, "Can I talk to somebody about scholarships?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm right here. What can I do for you?" And he's like, "I'm the father of 2 emergency educational grant recipients." And he welled up and he said, "I just want to thank you so much for what you've done for my daughters."
Right.
And I was like I was supposed to be there at that moment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
I want to mention, I mentioned it, sometimes I conduct business at the booth, and there's one guy, Bob Carpinelli, from Rhode Island. Every year he comes by. It used to be Bob and his brother John. They would come by every year, the 2 of them. I'd met them a long time ago at the Hoop Shoot in Springfield, Massachusetts, and so we'd catch up, rib each other. But they would always make a donation. They would each make their annual donation, and then they would make donations in memory of their mom and their dad who died. And recently, Bob lost John. His brother died. And so now I see him, and he's making a donation in memory of John, too. And it's just,
Oh, so nice.
Yeah,
so nice.
It really is.
That's why you get there first and leave.
That's right. Okay. Well, all right. Neither one of us mentioned as a highlight the spotlight on service, but clearly that's been a great addition to what we offer at convention. Started in 2019 in St. Louis. And we're trying to shine a spotlight on some of the things we do through the Spotlight Grant in particular, which is serve veterans experiencing homelessness and promoting literacy.
Mhm.
And what we do is we encourage people to drop by our booth and donate socks for people experiencing homelessness, for veterans experiencing homelessness, and books to promote literacy, children's literacy in the convention city. Staff members, we mentioned Megan Morris, with help from Mary Morgan, we lined up local organizations to take these donations.
We
Right.
sure did.
The
And we also,
VA,
this year, we limited it to dropping those donations off on Saturday and Sunday.
right. And we got some, some people asked why we were stopping collections in the middle of the show. And the reason is, with the holiday weekend or the week, it's, we need to get organizations like workers from these local organizations to find time to come out and pick this stuff up. And it has to be done before Tuesday at 2 when Freeman starts packing up the exhibit hall, right?
Right.
Trucks going this way and that. Everything has to be done by then. So stopping collections on after Sunday's show gives us a 1.5 day window to work with when we're trying to line up these organizations. The VA sent a truck at like 1 o'clock on Tuesday, and we had a ton of socks. I mean,
It didn't affect
unbelievable.
the turnout, right? You
No.
got numbers to
Yeah, I got
drop
the
on
numbers.
us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so the VA took the socks. Who took the books? Remember?
An organization called Book Spring.
Book Spring. And they
Book
came on
Spring, yeah.
Monday.
And they
Right.
came out Monday, yeah.
So, all right, yes, this was the 4th year we did it. Obviously, no convention in 2020, and in 2021 at Tampa, we didn't exhibit.
Right.
As we dipped our toe back in, right, to the convention scene. So of the 4 years we've been doing the Spotlight and Service, this was the second highest number. We had 401 lodges participate, up from 388 last year and 270 in 2022. The high was the first year when we had 504 lodges participate. Now, what they're doing is, of course, they're trying to serve these populations that we talked about, but as an incentive, we announced that we will draw one winner from each of these participating lodges. The lodge will receive an additional $2,000 SIP grant for their use, right?
Yes.
Now, you already know that we're going to do more than that because I spoiled it earlier when I referred to winners. And you know what? One of our mottos here at the foundation is under promise, over deliver.
Over deliver. That's right. So we're doing that once again.
All right, exactly. Woohoo! We promised one. We are going to announce 5 winners on this show. That's 5. That's $10,000 in additional grants that are going out to lucky lodges drawn at random from the pool of lodges that participated in the Spotlight on Service.
So exciting. Without further ado,
why don't you announce them?
All right, here we
They're
go.
presented in no order other than the order that we selected them. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Desert Hot Springs, California, lodge number 2639. You're
$2,000 for you.
bonus grant. Boonton, New Jersey, lodge number 1405.
Boontown.
You're getting
Boontown, right?
Boontown. I don't. Well, you can't correct my pronunciation of it. I didn't go
right.
Boonton.
1405. Lodge 1405.
1405. You're getting
$2,000.
All right. So is Ashland, Oregon, lodge number 944.
You get $2,000.
Taunton, Massachusetts, number 150.
They've been around a long time. You get $2,000, Taunton.
All right. Last but not least, Lamar, Missouri, lodge number 2800.
$2,000 for you, Lamar.
Yeah. Woo.
Now, maybe your lodge, you were tuning in today, hoping your lodge was going to be announced. You didn't receive one. We're sorry about that. Fortunately, there's lots of other grants that you can apply for if you haven't done that already. And look, the important thing here is that we were helping out people in the community where our convention was who need our help.
Right. You said of the socks, such generosity, 38 huge laundry bags full of socks to the VA to help people, veterans who are experiencing homelessness, right? 38 huge bags of socks.
And socks are one of the easiest and best things you can do for a person experiencing homelessness is give them a pair of clean socks.
And we delivered 38 bags. 18 boxes of books to Book Spring. Huge.
A lot of boxes.
People were very generous. So I think, you know, as everybody knows, it was a raffle. So there are only so many winners.
That's right. So I think that brings us to our wrap up, unless there's anything else you want to announce quickly.
Well, before we see each other again on episode 89, likely,
Yeah.
probably for sure, since it's mid-July, the 2025 MVS contest launches on August 1st. So that's happening. Here we go. We go again. And the impact intents are due on August 15th. So we'll probably see you around that time again, everybody. But if we don't, get on elks.org and look into those items and read about our convention recaps. See the photos just came through today. They were posted on our Flickr, so there's a link there. Like, they're awesome. So if you were there or you weren't there and you want to see what happened, take a look.
All right. Well, dear viewer, if you've liked this episode of the Midday Minute, how about giving us a thumbs up? Doesn't cost you anything. These are free, right? Thumbs up. If you didn't like this episode, maybe you don't care that your donation of socks helped somebody who really needed them. You're mad because you did not win. And you want to give us a thumb down, you can do that. That's okay. Go ahead. We can take it. We can take it. We prefer the thumbs up, but either way, we hope that you will share this episode with your social network so other people can learn about the good work the Elks are doing. If you're not already subscribing to our YouTube channel, what are you doing?
You're not.
Again, these things are free. Doesn't cost you anything. Just click that button and tap the bell so you'll be notified every time we post new content, like those 3 new videos that debuted at opening ceremony. Later on that same day, those things were on YouTube, right? If you weren't in Austin, you weren't at opening ceremony, as long as you're a subscriber, you knew you could see those videos.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back
everybody.
in a few weeks. Thanks so much for listening. Take care.